Hello everyone, my name is Kane, and today I will be ranking every Ninja Warrior show that came out in 2016. This is episode 3 of my retrospective ranking series where I go back in time and rank the shows that have come out, now with a little bit more wisdom and knowledge to properly rank them. 2016 has the most amount of ninja shows so far, because so many other shows started to pop up randomly. Some of these shows included staples of the international ninja scene that would later go on to have 5 or 10 seasons, and some of these never made it past season 3, or 2, or 1. It was a very experimental stage of Ninja Warrior's life where a lot of different countries were figuring out how to lay out the courses, what type of obstacles to put on, what to put in each episode, how to edit each episode and each season, and it led to some very interesting results. With 12 shows on this list, this is the largest year so far, so let's get right into it with last place, Team Ninja Warrior Denmark. It's worth noting, this is lost media. If you've seen it, you want to send it over, preserve it, put it in the vault, send it to me, please. I'll save it and make it safe for the whole community to see. Coming off the success of Team Ninja Warrior in the United States, other countries wanted to try the Team Ninja Warrior format, the first being Denmark. And honestly, there weren't too many things terrible about it, but one thing was really, really bad. The courses were pretty decent because they just copied the American ones into Denmark. The editing was alright, nothing to write home about, but it was fine. The reason this is so bad is because the competitors sucked. You have to remember that Team Ninja Warrior Denmark came after the individual season of Ninja Warrior Denmark, and that was the first ever ninja scene in Denmark, period. So you had a whole bunch of people who didn't know what they were doing, being told to go fast against another person, putting pressure on them to beat their opponent and to beat the course. Naturally, that did not go well. It got to the point where the profile pieces, which were not that long, started to feel long because the runs were so short. Coming in at number 11 is Ninja Warrior UK Season 2. I was really debating putting this a little bit higher, but I really can't. Season 1 of Ninja Warrior UK was goofy and serious, and it had some cool obstacles, and it made me think, okay, maybe they learned some stuff to carry into Season 2. Season 2 showed me they did not. In fact, they dialed up the goofy as if they were almost trying to simulate the vibe of Wipeout, which is just not what Ninja Warrior is. If you are looking for some good laughs, you will get them out of this show, but that's not why I watch Ninja Warrior, so it hit a little bit, and then after a while, I got pretty bored of it. Ninja Warrior Sweden 2 is number 10 on this list because it's kind of the same thing as Ninja Warrior UK 2. The only reason it's above UK is because, honestly, it was the first European show to follow this format. It gets the, MVP edge. Still not a good show, but it's got the veteran status over UK. Number 9 is Team Ninja Warrior College Madness. I remember so many people being upset about this season when it came out, and it's not very good, but it's also not as bad as people think either. Obviously, from an impact standpoint, it gave us Matisse the Kid Awadi on a ninja course for the first time, and Charlie Andrews, who, man, miss Charlie Andrews on the course. But the college athletes were not ready for Ninja Warrior. Only the ones that had actually done ninja in some capacity did fairly decent. It was nice to see more of the angle of natural athletes from other sports trying to take on our sport. That's really cool. But I think that works better when you've got your joke competitors and your really serious competitors and your up-and-coming rookies and athletes in other sports are just another flavor thrown into that mix, you know? Having it be the main center and they're like, oh, well, they're from this school and that's their shtick, it got pretty repetitive pretty fast. Number 8 is Season 1 of Ninja Warrior Germany. You could tell they didn't know what they were getting into here. Straight up just following the format that Sweden and the UK adopted, with the split stage 2 and 3 and the qualifiers being kind of laid out all just however they want. It definitely does it better in terms of showing off the athleticism and highlighting the competitors, which is why it's higher. However, spoiler alert for a 9-year-old show, this season ended on stage 2. Yay. It gave us some really great notable German competitors, Oliver Edelman being the last man standing, Moritz Hans, who later goes on to achieve total victory. It's really cool, but also not a great start to the show. Let's just be glad that it did improve over time. Number 7 is the beginning of another show that's a staple in the ninja world, Ninja Warrior France Season 1. This is like if Ninja Warrior Germany 1 had better results Simple as that. Also, Jean Tezanos made the move from X-Warrior over to Ninja Warrior France, and I was pretty happy about that. In terms of what Ninja Warrior France later on becomes down the line, this is a good start. It's just nothing crazy. It's kind of in the middle of the pack on this year because it is kind of mid. Something else that I think is pretty mid, and some people will be surprised that it's not lower, is Sasuke 32, which is number 6. One of the weakest renewals of a course ever, for one. I mean, like, yeah, it was a weak renewal. I can't think of anything from the TBS broadcast specifically that makes this good for me. It's just that everything lower on this list is worse, I think. You know, we don't get to see Casey's full run, and I think Casey's run is pretty decent. Of course, Nagano's retirement is what largely carries it for me, because at the time, that was the most emotional Ninja Warrior moment for me. Yes, I have Nagano's retirement over Takada's fall in 24. Fight me. But at the same time, I can't really count that when ranking this one, because only the full extended version, which was not in the broadcast, is the one that got me emotional. So, doesn't count towards this. Number 5 is Ninja Warrior Italy. Of all of the European Ninja Warrior spin-offs that started this format with the 4 stages all condensed and whatever else, I think Ninja Warrior Italy had the most sauce. The episodes had good pacing, honestly, with decent profile piece lengths, and then went right into the course, and the athletes were a little inexperienced, a little slow, but the obstacles themselves were quick, so it balanced out to make some decently entertaining runs. It's really a shame that this only lasted 1 season. Something else that I think is very interesting about Ninja Warrior Italy is that they have quarterfinals in between the qualifiers and semifinals. Quarterfinals. So you had to work extra hard just to get to stage 1, and I kind of enjoyed it because it did stretch out the course and elevate in difficulty beyond just making semifinals super ridiculous and qualifiers super easy. It was nice to have that middle ground. Number 4 is Sasuke Ninja Warrior Indonesia Season 1. Something about Sasuke Indonesia that you guys probably don't know unless you've watched it before. The season consists of multiple tournaments. The first tournament in Season 1 of this show was the General Open Public Tournament. The second tournament of the season was a police special, which, you know, it went through all of the stages. And honestly, both were pretty good. You had your qualifiers, your semifinals, you had your 4 stages. The only nitpick I have is that the terminology for this show is everywhere. Stage 1 is called Semifinal Stage 1, Stage 2 is Semifinal Stage 2, Stage 3 is called Final Stage, and then Midoriyama is the final stage. It's so weird, like, to say. That's like my only nitpick. You got a lot of competitors on this show, so you had a lot of good results, a lot of fast athletes, a lot of really strong people, and a lot of funny fails at the same time, and I think it was scattered decently well. I do miss this show. But it's not as good as number 3 on this list, Team Ninja Warrior Season 1. You guys remember when you guys liked racing in Ninja Warrior? That's because of this show. Every race really did feel like a heavyweight match because of the captains being the team leaders, and they would have to battle each other at some point, and it was really cool. I also really liked the relays, and it gave us some pretty cool original obstacles, not from A&W. Of course, some are from A&W, but Ring of Fire, for example, like, it was nice to have that there. Team Ninja Warrior started a movement, and while other countries tried to copy it and brought racing to their shows and whatnot, A&W did it first with Team Ninja Warrior, and I would say it was a really entertaining season. My number 2, for the pure randomness that it is Sasuke Vietnam 2. Sasuke Vietnam 2 ended with 12 people on the final stage. You already know that the courses leading up to it had to have gone insane for that to happen. When we see 5 clears on stage 3 or whatever, we get upset, you know, we're like, oh, it's too easy, it's too whatever. But this was such a ridiculous amount of success on every single stage, 1, 2, 3, and the final, that it's like, I can't even be mad. Because this is just like goofy, fun entertainment, but with the crazy cliffhanger involved. Like, I was just like, what is going on? No, this was awesome. This was just pure adrenaline entertainment. The only downside is that stage 1 is 10 out of 20 episodes in this season. It's way too long. My number 1 ninja show of 2016 is American Ninja Warrior Season 8. This is one of the most polarizing seasons of Ninja Warrior that I've seen, because people either loved A&W 8 or they hated A&W 8. I personally liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I think that the haters are wrong. Like, genuinely, factually logistically wrong. This was a good renewal tournament. The qualifiers were good. The semifinals were good. Vegas was also good. Notice how I did not say great. I'm not about to say that this is like a Hall of Fame season, but it's good. You had some great moments there. Obviously, Jesse Graff clearing stage 1 being the highlight of the season. But I think the funniest thing about it is that people got mad that A&W was doing what they're supposed to do with a renewal season. The obstacles were new. They were harder than seasons 7 and prior. The competitors wanted to be the next American Ninja Warrior champion. New competitors stepped up to the plate as well for their shot, and Isaac Caldiero didn't come back, so they needed new stars to fill that top spot to market. And that's exactly what A&W 8 did. But no, you guys are going to get mad that you can't watch a profile piece for longer than 60 seconds. And you're going to get mad at the double wedge, which I think is the only valid criticism. Like, I think double wedge was pretty scuffed. But in terms of everything that Sasuke does for a renewal, hyping up new obstacles, new competitors, a new storyline, a new tower, a whatever, A&W did pretty much all of that they could, and somehow people are upset about it. Get over yourselves. That's me off my soapbox. I'm good. A&W 8 is the best Ninja Warrior show of 2016. Whether or not you agree with my list, I don't care. You should subscribe anyways. We'll be back with episode 4 covering 2017 next time. Thank you so much. Take care.